Welcome to Christian Overcomers, and thank you for joining us for this prophecy update. Witchcraft. Is Taylor Swift trying to tell us something? Well, here you can see I took this picture while watching TV in my living room, watching the American Music Awards. I don't always watch them, but sometimes I watch them to see what's going on out in the world there. And just to find out and see Taylor Swift, who used to be a country music star, now turned pop star, singing in front of a giant cobra. A very demonic looking one at that. I mean, why would you do that? What's the purpose of that? And you can see back here in the background, guys look like male witches dressed in black here. And we got some kind of an altar leading up here to the serpent. What the heck is going on here? Well, I know this might not surprise some of you because you're well attuned to what's going on. And you're well attuned to the fact that satanic rituals are being performed right in front of us by some of these major pop stars. But anyways, I'm going to go to the lyrics. Here's another picture. I don't think this is from the same exact concert, but it's the same tour that she's doing where she brings this gigantic serpent with her, this king cobra. Nice, huh? What in the heck is that all about? Well, there's another explanation of it. You know, they always give two explanations. Oh, somebody called me a serpent, so now I'm just, I'm just gonna stick it in their face. Nuh-uh. There's that's kind of the way to hide. You know, in witchcraft, in sorcery, in the occult, they always have two different meanings of why they do something. One is more of an outward meaning. You got the esoteric and the exoteric and the esoteric. The exoteric would be the message they want you to believe. The esoteric is the more hidden, the real reason. In other words, they try to smoke screen you and say, oh, the serpents are just for fun and games. Somebody called me a serpent once, so I just, thought it would be fun. Okay, well, let's see about that. She was singing this song out in front of this giant serpent, and I'll show you some more pictures in a minute. And you can see these other serpents down here below her. She's just sitting there in a snake den. I did something bad is the title of her song. Here's some of the lyrics from that song. They're burning all the witches. Whoops. They're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one. Okay, so now there's a way out. She can't say she can't say that we've accused her of being a witch, right? Oh, so now if fans get up in arms and they say, Taylor Swift, you're a witch, she'd say, I didn't say that in my song. I said, they're burning all the witches even if you aren't one. See how tricky that is? We'll put this together for you here in a minute. They got their pitchforks and proof, their receipts and reasons. They're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one. So light me up, light me up, light me up, light me up, light me up. Here we got this repetition. There's also an esoteric meaning for that, I believe, as well. Lighting up is possibly has another meaning of, getting lit up with the witch's ceremony. So go ahead and light me up, light me up, light me up, light me up, light me up. And, they just mesmerize you with that. Light me up, light me up. They say I did something bad. Now check this out. They say I did something bad. Then why does it feel so good? They say I did something bad. But why does it feel so good? Most fun I ever had. And I'd do it over and over and over again if I could. It just felt so good. That's obviously referring to sin. They say I did something bad. That's a sin, right? Then she says, well, but why does it feel so good? I mean, who can't see past this? She's bragging about doing something bad. I believe she's bragging about being newly converting to something she wasn't before. And also, in this day and age, you never know if somebody's having some type of a homosexual experience, which is a demonic experience. And they say that it's bad, but why does it feel so good? It feels so good. Bad stuff, my friends. No pun intended. Taylor Swift. Now check this out. What happened to her? She used to be a country singer. Well, there was always a little bit of issues with her in the country music. We kind of knew, those of us who had been around, we kind of knew that she was kind of a phony. Wasn't really country, but here we go. Here she says, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. What does that mean? Does that mean she converted to something? Let's check this out. Here she is again, dancing in front of the serpent. Not just dancing. And this was supposedly from her video. I think it's the same song. Here she is wearing serpents. And then there's another serpent right there. Just serpents everywhere with her hand on a skull. Wearing red. Like a witch. Okay? Now here she is, all wearing black with little serpent scales on their arms and everything. And carrying, whenever you see this, it is depicting, it's a reenactment of carrying somebody as a sacrifice to a pagan god. They're reenacting that. They're reliving it. They are redoing it, at least in symbolism. So here she is in the video being sacrificed or presented as a sacrifice right in front of the serpent. To the serpent. There it is again. Here we go. All of the witches in black doing their ceremony of offering their sacrifice, i.e. also worshiping her as some kind of a god. This is sick stuff, my friends. And this is the stuff that they're feeding our children with. Now, here we go. Oh, yeah, it's all these women here, right? Me Too movement, radical women, hate men. Men are always so bad. And there were some lyrics in there about hating on men as well. And here she is wearing a rainbow outfit. And this girl looking at her like she kind of likes her. And this girl doing some kind of a raunchy dance. If this isn't satanic, I don't know what is, my friends. And here's another picture of her. Singing in front of a bunch of snakes. Dressed in black. Holding what it appears to be as a serpent even on the microphone. And other colored serpents back here. Serpents everywhere. So let me see here. Let me just think about this. She's dressed in black. She was being held up as a mock sacrifice in front of a giant serpent. And she's surrounded by serpents. In the song, she sings about witches. What are we to conclude? Has she converted to becoming a witch? Well, she's definitely bewitching. Millions and millions of innocent young women and kids with her music and her lyrics and her symbolism. And yet our people are just asleep. I mean, could you imagine if this was done 60 years ago? 70 years ago in our country, if somebody was standing up singing like this, people would have a heart attack. They'd say, what the hell demons just came out of the pit? My goodness. We're studying the book of Genesis right now, and it says it would be like it was during the days of Noah. And it's certainly where man would become so wicked, so vile, so satanic. And that's what we're seeing happening today. We're getting there, my friends. We're getting there. Here we go again. Look at that serpent there, supposed to be bewitching everybody. It's right here, my friends. It's in front of our faces. And you could say this is just fun and games. This is all jokes. It's not a joke. This is no joke. This is the real deal, my friends. This is witchcraft and bewitching and spell casting and allowing demons coming right through this woman into her audience. Revelation 12:9 says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent. Well, that's what she's singing in front of, right? Called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Who does he use to deceive the whole world? People, my friends. People who are possessed with demons. That includes singers. That includes false preachers. That includes politicians. That includes anybody who has a platform to spew the serpent's lies. And he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And we're going to actually see, I'm going to read a quote from her on one of her social media accounts, where Taylor Swift persecutes a good Christian woman. This woman here symbolizes Christians in general. But you can see here the dragon there she is, worshiping the dragon, singing by the dragon. And then what does she do next? What does she do? She casts out of her mouth persecution against a woman representative in her home state. I'll get to that in a minute. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and a times, and a half a time. That's 3.5 years, 1,260 days, according to the 360-day prophetic year. We just did a study on that, if you want to check that out, Genesis chapter 8, from the face of the serpent. All right, that's what this war is about. The serpent. The serpent is trying to capture its prey, hypnotize its prey, and swallow it up. And there we have innocent little Taylor Swift, who used country music as a jumping board to get into her pop music so that she could knowingly or probably unknowingly fulfill her lusts, gain the riches of the world, selling her soul to the devil for millions and maybe billions of dollars for all I know. I don't know how much she's worth. I know she's got a castle or something. Or from what I heard, she has a castle or something in London. I don't know the details on that. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. The serpent casting out of his mouth. In the spiritual sense, the serpent casts out lies, floods of lies, to try to deceive people, to try to carry them away captive. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And you know what? That dragon did make war with one of the remnant of the woman's seed, which does keep the commandments of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ. And I'll show you an example of it. Here it is right here. Oh, sweet little Taylor Swift, being used by the demonic forces of the dragon to persecute good Christian people. Check this out. Taylor Swift writes here on her Instagram account, I'm writing this post about the upcoming midterm elections on November 6th, in which I'll be voting in the state of Tennessee. In the past, I've been reluctant to publicly voice my political opinions, but due to several events in my life and in the world, in the past 2 years, what's she been doing? Dancing with serpents. I feel very differently about that now. I always have and always will cast my vote based on which candidate will protect and fight for the human rights. They always use that word, human rights. I believe we all deserve in this country. I believe in the fight for LGBTQ rights, and that any form of discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender is wrong. I believe that the systematic racism we see still in this country towards people of color is terrifying, sickening, and prevalent. I cannot vote for someone who will not be willing to fight for dignity for all Americans, no matter their skin color, gender, or who they love. Running for Senate in the state of Tennessee is a woman named Marsha Blackburn. As much as I have in the past, and would like to continue voting for women in office, I cannot support Marsha Blackburn. Her voting record in Congress appalls and terrifies me. She voted against equal pay for women. She voted against the reauthorization of the Violence Act against women, which attempts to protect women from domestic violence, stalking, and date rape. She believes businesses have a right to refuse service to gay couples. She also believes they should not have the right to marry. These are not my Tennessee values. I will be voting for Phil Bredesen for Senate and Jim Cooper for the House of Representatives. Please educate yourselves on the candidates running in your state and vote based off of which party closely represents your values. For a lot of us, and then she goes on. So she's calling. She says that Marsha Blackburn's voting record appalls and terrifies her. Well, Marsha Blackburn is a Christian standing up for Christian morality and decency. So what do we have here? We got this dancing with the serpents. We've got the dragon using Taylor Swift as a mouthpiece to come after the woman. And there we have it. Did it help? Praise God, I think we're having a revolution in America. Marsha Blackburn up 14% despite Taylor Swift's plea for opponent Phil Bredesen in Tennessee. Taylor Swift's endgame may be to keep Marsha Blackburn from being elected, but Tennessee voters appear to be shaking off the pop star's endorsement of her opponent. Witch? You have here, she is a witch. There's no doubt about it. What she's doing, she's casting spells upon people with her music and her symbolism and telling them to do evil things, that it feels good, and is supporting the Democrat or the Democrat party, the party that opposes God. And she's opposing this good Christian woman who wants to stand up for morality and decency. This is a demon inside this woman. Possibly multiple demons. And how could you say that, Pastor Ben? How could you, such an innocent looking girl? Innocent looking? Satan uses anybody who will serve him. If you think witches are something crazy, it doesn't happen. It happens, my friends. They're written about in the Bible. And this just came out. And Tucker Carlson just did an episode on this, and it was very good. You could search it on YouTube. I bet it's on there. But anyways, this was from Fox News. I apologize. I don't have the title of the news source here. Supreme Coven, witches in New York to hold public ritual to hex Kavanaugh. You got it. This is real. They're really doing this. They're really trying to cast a hex upon Kavanaugh. My friends, that's why I'm telling you. This election 2018, as well as 2016, is not just Democrats versus Republicans. We are in a spiritual war. This is good versus evil. What we saw these demons try to do to this man was despicable. We've got to fight back. And one way you can fight back is by speaking the truth, exposing evil, supporting ministries that do the same, and casting your vote. Do not sit on the sidelines this election, my friends. And don't let one of these discouragers tell you that voting doesn't matter or that the Republicans and Democrats are the same. No, they're not. The Republicans, yeah, they've had some ups and downs. They've had some, during the Bush era, they got into globalism. That's true. But they are a far cry from the Democrat Party that opposes God on every front, that has become the party of the screaming woman, the militant homosexual, and yes, now, the witch's coven. This is real stuff, my friends. The Bible is not a fairy tale. The war is on. Which side will you be on? You will be judged whether you stand or not. If you know the truth and you don't stand, the blood is on your hands, my friend. And you will stand before God one day and have to answer for what you have or haven't done. God bless you. Stay in His Word every single day so that you can be a Christian overcomer.
Christian Overcomers is brought to you by the tithes and offerings of our listeners. If you would like to support our ministry, please go to ChristianOvercomers.com. God bless you, and thank you for your support.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of His terrible